Have you ever woken up with swollen feet, a heavy face, or a strange pressure in your body that you just chalked up to getting older? If you have, I want you to pause for a moment, because what I'm about to tell you is far more serious than most people realize. Millions of Americans wake up every morning feeling tired, puffy, or slightly off. And they have no idea that these small, silent changes can be the earliest warning signs that their kidneys are falling behind. The danger is that kidney decline doesn't scream at whispers. It creeps in slowly, quietly, and by the time the pain becomes obvious, the damage is often years ahead of what any blood test will show. I've seen it happen too many times in my patients as smart, careful people who thought they were fine, until one morning their numbers crashed, their blood pressure spiked, or their swelling suddenly became impossible to ignore. But here's the part that most doctors never explain: your kidneys do the majority of their repair at night while you sleep, and if they don't get the support they need during those hours, the damage continues unchecked night after night, even if you feel okay during the day. That's why the symptoms feel so confusing. You think you're just tired. You think it's just aging, but underneath, your kidneys may be fighting a battle you don't feel until it's too late. The good news, and it is powerful, is that your body is not helpless. There are 4 specific fruits that have been scientifically shown to cleanse inflammation, protect blood vessels, lower toxin load, and give your kidneys the nighttime support they desperately need. And in today's video, I, Dr. Richard Hale, am going to show you exactly how they work and how just one small nighttime routine can reshape your mornings, your energy, and your long-term kidney health. So if you felt swollen, foggy, or unusually tired lately, please stay with me, because what you learn next could genuinely change the direction of your health. Let's begin with a fruit that looks small but carries a level of power. Most Americans severely underestimate blueberries. If your mornings have been heavy, foggy, or swollen, this might be the first natural tool that starts shifting everything in the right direction. And I don't say that lightly. I've had patients walk into my office believing their fatigue and swelling were just part of aging, until a few simple changes, including this one, began turning their entire health story around. Take Margaret from Phoenix, a 67-year-old retired teacher. Every morning she woke up with puffy eyelids, tight ankles, and that uncomfortable stiffness people often blame on weather or age. But the truth was far deeper. Her kidneys were struggling with inflammation that had slowly built up over years. When we added blueberries into her nightly routine, not as a dessert, but as a therapeutic food, she began noticing something remarkable within 2 weeks. The swelling reduced, her sleep felt calmer, and she stopped waking up feeling weighed down. It wasn't magic. It was biology working the way it's supposed to. Blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, those deep blue pigments that don't just make them beautiful, they protect your kidneys' microscopic blood vessels. Think of those vessels like tiny garden hoses. When they're inflamed, stiff, or irritated, blood has a harder time moving through them, placing enormous pressure on your filtration system. But anthocyanins relax those vessels, reduce inflammation, and allow smoother circulation through the kidneys. And this isn't guesswork. A study from Florida State University showed that regular blueberry intake can lower systolic blood pressure by around 5 points. That may sound small, but when it comes to kidney stress at night, 5 points can be the difference between steady healing and silent damage. But the benefits don't stop with your blood vessels. Blueberries also support your gut's beneficial bacteria, which play a surprisingly important role in kidney health. Those microbes break down waste before it ever reaches your bloodstream. More healthy bacteria means fewer toxins circulating at night, which means less work and less wear on your kidneys. Several studies show blueberry fiber can reduce harmful waste markers in the blood by nearly 10%, a quiet but powerful advantage for anyone fighting swelling, high blood pressure, or early-stage kidney stress. And perhaps one of the biggest reasons blueberries help the kidneys at night is their stability. They don't spike your blood sugar, they don't raise your sodium levels, and they don't overload you with potassium. They give your body gentle energy and calm digestion, which is exactly what you want before sleep, especially if you struggle with nighttime blood pressure spikes or restless sleep. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another nighttime fruit that works on an entirely different system of the body, one that determines whether you sleep deeply enough for your kidneys to repair at all. And this next fruit might just surprise you, because most people overlook how powerful it really is. And while blueberries help calm inflammation and support your blood vessels through the night, they can't solve one of the biggest problems kidney patients face, the lack of deep restorative sleep. Because here's the truth, most people never hear your kidneys do their most important repair work only when you enter deep sleep. And if you're tossing, turning, waking up multiple times, or lying awake staring at the ceiling, your kidneys never get the chance to rebuild. That's where one of the most overlooked nighttime fruits steps in tart cherries. Now, if you've ever struggled with those long, restless nights, you're not alone. One of my patients, Robert, a 72-year-old retired engineer, told me he would lie awake for hours with his mind racing, legs twitching, and blood pressure creeping up every time he tried to relax. And when your sleep breaks like that, your kidneys lose the window they rely on to slow filtration, reduce inflammation, and repair the microscopic tissues that keep you alive. But when we introduced tart cherries into his evening routine, not a sugary juice, not a dessert, but actual tart cherries, his nights changed dramatically within days. What makes tart cherries different is that they contain a natural, gentle form of melatonin, not the synthetic pills that hit your brain too hard, too fast, and leave you groggy the next day. This is food-based melatonin, absorbed slowly with digestion, helping your nervous system unwind in the exact rhythm your body prefers. And the science backs this up. A study from Louisiana State University found that adults drinking tart cherry juice before bed slept nearly 90 minutes longer. That's not a small improvement, that's a full extra sleep cycle. And for your kidneys, that extra cycle can mean less nighttime blood pressure, less inflammatory stress, and more hours of much-needed repair. But it's not just about melatonin. Tart cherries are loaded with anthocyanins and vitamin C, both of which reduce inflammatory signals like CRP. Some studies show reductions as high as 25% after consistent intake. Imagine how much lighter your kidneys feel when the fire inside your blood vessels quiets down. No wonder so many seniors who add tart cherries before bed wake up with less stiffness in their fingers, less swelling in their ankles, and fewer of those morning headaches that seem to come from nowhere. And here's something most people miss. Tart cherries help calm nighttime blood pressure spikes, the kind that silently damage kidney filters while you're unaware. They also help with restless legs muscle cramps and that uncomfortable tension that builds as soon as you try to lie still. It's the kind of relief you don't realize you're missing until you finally sleep through the night again. But just knowing this still isn't enough, because the next fruit doesn't just support sleep or reduce inflammation. This next fruit actually pulls waste directly out of your system before it ever reaches your kidneys. And missing this step could be the reason so many people wake up swollen and exhausted. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another factor even more dangerous. And while tart cherries help your body slip into the deep healing sleep your kidneys desperately need, there's still one problem: they can't solve the amount of waste your body creates before you even close your eyes. Because sleep alone can't save your kidneys if your bloodstream is loaded with toxins long before the night begins. That's why the next fruit is so important, because instead of waiting for your kidneys to deal with waste, this fruit traps it early before it ever reaches your bloodstream. And that fruit is the humble apple. Now, I know apples seem simple, even boring, but when it comes to kidney health, few foods do what apples do. Let me tell you about Linda, a 63-year-old grandmother from Ohio. She told me she couldn't understand why she woke up every morning bloated, heavy, and stiff, even on nights she slept well. She assumed it was just age catching up, but the truth was that her digestive system was slow, her gut bacteria were struggling, and her body wasn't clearing waste efficiently. Every extra hour that waste sat in her system meant more toxins leaking into her blood and more pressure placed on her kidneys overnight. When we added one apple to her evening routine, not juice, not pie, just a simple apple, everything began to change. The secret is in the pectin. Apple pectin works like a sponge inside your gut. It binds to waste particles, cholesterol-like compounds, and toxins, trapping them before they can enter your bloodstream. Science backs this power. Multiple studies show that regular pectin intake can reduce toxin markers in the blood by 5 to 10%. That may sound small, but for an organ that works non-stop, even a small reduction in workload gives your kidneys a deeper sense of relief than most people realize. And it doesn't stop there. Apples stabilize blood sugar in a way that helps the kidneys stay calm overnight. Instead of sharp sugar spikes that can raise nighttime blood pressure, apples release their natural sugars, slowly giving your body steady energy as you wind down. For people with pre-diabetes or diabetes, this can dramatically reduce those frustrating 3 a.m. wake-ups caused by sudden drops in blood sugar. And if constipation has been aggravating your swelling or discomfort, apples help with that too. A smooth, regular morning bowel movement means less waste sitting in your body overnight and less stress on your kidneys. What people forget is that apple peel is packed with antioxidants that protect your blood vessels, especially the tiny ones feeding your kidneys. When these vessels stay flexible, calm and open filtration becomes smoother, your blood pressure stays steadier, and your organs get the circulation they need to repair. No fatigue, no morning puffiness, no feeling like your body didn't reset. But knowing this still isn't enough, because the final fruit on this list doesn't just reduce waste or help you sleep. It strengthens your blood vessels, boosts hydration, and supports your kidneys in a way almost no other fruit can. And missing it could be the reason so many people wake up swollen and exhausted. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another factor even more dangerous. And while apples help your body capture waste before it ever reaches your bloodstream, there's still one more weakness that quietly destroys kidney health in millions of Americans: poor circulation. Because even if your kidneys want to heal, they simply cannot repair themselves when the blood vessels feeding them are stiff, inflamed, and overworked. That's why the next fruit on this list is so crucial. It doesn't just help, it targets the exact system your kidneys rely on to stay alive. And that fruit is the red grape. Red grapes may look like a simple snack, but inside their glossy skin is one of the most powerful compounds in nature, resveratrol. Think of resveratrol as a guardian for your blood vessels. It keeps them flexible, calm, and open, so blood can actually reach your kidneys without forcing them to fight against pressure. If blueberries are your anti-inflammatory shield and apples are your toxin trap, then red grapes are your circulation booster, the missing third pillar that completes the system your kidneys need. Let me share a story. James, a 70-year-old veteran from North Carolina, came to me after months of waking up with swollen hands, tight rings, and ankles that left dents whenever he pressed them. He thought it was salt age, maybe even poor sleep. But the real problem was circulation. His blood vessels were stiff, his lymphatic flow sluggish, and his kidneys were getting hit with pressure spikes night after night. When we added a modest serving of red grapes to his evening routine, just half a cup before winding down, his swelling started to drop. His blood pressure lowered in the mornings, and for the first time in years, he woke up feeling lighter. Science supports exactly why this happens. Studies show that grape polyphenols can improve blood vessel flexibility by up to 15%. That's a massive shift for the kidneys, which depend on smooth, steady blood flow to filter waste without tearing their microscopic filters. Other research shows a nearly 20% drop in CRP, one of the body's loudest inflammatory warning signals. When CRP drops, swelling drops. When swelling drops, the kidneys can breathe again. But what people often overlook is how perfectly red grapes hydrate the body. Unlike chugging a glass of water before bed, something that sends many seniors running to the bathroom all night, grapes release water slowly through digestion. That means you get hydration without sleep interruptions. It's a gentle, steady stream that supports your kidneys instead of overwhelming them. And if you're someone who craves sweetness after dinner, grapes are one of the few nighttime choices that satisfy your taste buds without forcing your kidneys into crisis mode. Still, even understanding the power of red grapes isn't the whole picture, because there's one more factor rarely discussed, often ignored, that can make or break everything you're trying to fix. And this final piece may be the reason so many people wake up swollen, fatigued, or foggy, even when they think they're doing all the right things. But only knowing this isn't enough, because there's another factor even more dangerous. As we come to the end of this video, I want you to remember something important. Your kidneys are not fragile, hopeless organs waiting to fail. They are resilient, remarkable filters that respond beautifully when you give them just a little support. The right nighttime foods, the right habits, and the willingness to listen to your body before the warning signs grow louder. Every positive choice you make, even the small ones, can stack up into real progress. And if you've been dealing with swelling, fatigue, restless nights, or that feeling of being off in the mornings, I want you to know you are not alone and you are not stuck. Your body can change. Your kidneys can improve. You absolutely can feel better than you do today. If you found this video helpful, please do your future self a favor, save this video so you can come back to these steps whenever you need them. And make sure to subscribe to the channel because every week I share new science-backed medical insights to help you protect your kidneys, lower inflammation, and stay healthier for years to come. When you subscribe, you're not just following a channel, you're joining a community of people who are taking their health into their own hands one simple habit at a time. And above all, hold on to hope. I've seen patients in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s turn their kidney numbers around, regain their energy, and feel alive again, not because of drastic treatments, but because they made small, consistent choices that supported their body instead of working against it. You can do the same. Your next chapter can be stronger, lighter, and healthier than you expect. Take care of yourself tonight, and your kidneys will take care of you tomorrow. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.